Yo, everybody. What's up, sales comedians? I wanted to talk about something that was kind of interesting that came up recently. I'm having a team member of mine who's having trouble getting any meetings, and this is probably something everybody is dealing with. Nobody's having any meetings. No meetings are going on. We're doing so many bits of outreach, but nobody's agreeing to meetings. Yeah, it's true. It's really hard to get meetings. It's always hard to get meetings. It's going to always be hard to get meetings unless you have a product that is literally just taking over the marketplace for one reason or another and getting written about in every magazine. You're just always going to have trouble getting meetings. Doesn't matter how many emails or calls you make, sending stuff. It's going to be like pulling teeth, man. It's going to be pretty difficult because people have their own agendas and they have their own time, and they don't want to get off of them. And how do you do that? You have to be transgressive. And one of the things that people are afraid to do is be really transgressive. They don't want to bother other people. They don't want to break rapport. They don't want to. And it's true. You have to be sensitive to this kind of thing. But think about it like this. Comedy's based on this concept where you are basically surprising someone, but laughter is a result of a surprise that instead of ending up something that felt threatening when it was, you felt a tension, like something was going to be threatening. You're walking up to a corner, and around the corner could be anything. But instead of something that's scary or hurtful, it's something that is surprising and positive. So it's like, instead of, like, think about it, I always like to think about it like this. It's like the game of peekaboo, like with a baby. Like, somebody hides their face, and then they go like, oh, I'm gone, and then they pull it back, and they're like, oh, it's me, surprise, it's your mom. It's the person who loves you the most in the world. It's not someone else. And then the baby starts laughing. That's what the essence of comedy is. Why am I bringing this up? Because people have emails that are full of, and phone calls that are full of people trying to get their time. And every time they open something up, they see traces of, hey, here's I want time on my agenda. Can you get on my agenda? What you need to do is figure out how you can be entertaining and interesting enough. Send a video, send a joke, send a cartoon you found online, send anything that has nothing to do with the kind of business you're reaching out about that's surprising or interesting or fun or funny or anything like that. Send anything to get on their agenda that they find interesting, and then they'll want to open their agenda for you by itself. So think about it like this. What can you send if you can't get a conversation with the one person you want that'll get a conversation started amongst the 5 people at work they talk to the most? So think, how you already have their contact information, and if you don't, call and ask. Just say, what can I forward that'll get something started? Send a basket with a bunch of funny, goofy cookies in it. Send 5 different emails to 5 different people that has a cartoon that it could be relevant to something that happens in their office. Go check out The New Yorker. Check out Stu Heinecke. He does this all the time and has done it. Like he'll send a cartoon image of something that will help get a conversation started at the places he works at. That's your job. Your job is to be an entertainer a little bit and to pull people into the kind of thing you're trying to create. Think about it like that. You're trying to create something, and you're trying to pull people into the inside of it. It's not just a one-to-one conversation. That's what you want, and eventually you'll get it. But if you get a conversation, people normally interrupt me here and they go like, Brendan, well, what about how do I make this into a business conversation? Who cares? You're a smart person and you'll figure it out. As soon as you get something started, the first step let me ask you a question. Are you going to walk up to, if you want to date somebody, are you going to walk directly up to them and say, hey, do you want to date? Can we go on a date? They don't even know who you are. They don't know anything about you. The best way to do this is to start a conversation that could then open up the possibility of you having a serious conversation. You know what I mean? The business conversation is like, is it possible for us to start a life together? No one walks up and asks if they want to get married right away. And if they do, it doesn't work. Only in the movies or amongst crazy people. You wouldn't even want necessarily to have somebody say yes to you if you walked up and said that question. So here's how, and nobody who you're going to marry, by the way, is going to spend $100,000 to $200,000 to $300,000 to $1 million with you in a year. And that's what you're trying to do in B2B sales, to get somebody to work with you. Start the rapport first. Care about them as a person first. Send something first that'll get a conversation started about them and the 5 people they care about and listen to most at the office. Then see if you can get time with them to talk about potentially working together. Don't get the cart before the horse. Don't ask before you know who they are. Just send that kind of stuff. I promise you that sooner or later they're going to notice it, because it is not going to look the same as the 100 other BS idiots who are reaching out to them, trying to get them on their agenda. Get yourself on their agenda by sending things that are already on their agenda, by helping